deprived, marginalized, the heads of institutions who have partnered in this noble cause and assisting in a significant way in the students selected by Matram, in equipping them with needed knowledge and skill to take on life. Alumni of Matram Foundation, my dear students, I got to know Matram before I met Sujit. When I came to Tamil Nadu, I looked for those people and entities, those who are doing service to the people, those who are in need of it, those who are at the margin or beyond the margin of society, but doing so silently. I believe, and this has been my experience in life, that there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of good work, good service. But as we are in the age of market, you find less number of virtuous people than people who do virtue signaling. They so doing good work. For them that's important. But on the other hand, there are people who are silently doing it, unsung, uncelebrated, but nevertheless impacting and transforming lives in most significant way. Doing service to those who have been abandoned by the rest. I had my previous experience in different societies where I lived and worked, and I was confident that there must be a large number of people in Tamil Nadu also. And in the course of that, I got to know about Matra. And that's how my first meeting with Sujit happened, when I invited on the Mother's Day, because I thought we must celebrate and honor the mothers who have produced, begotten such children. The sense of service, sense of doing good to others, it is inherent in our cultural ethos. It has been our values, Indian values, for thousands of years. With our limited resources, even the poor man in the village will not let a visitor, a guest, go unfed. That is why we call Atithi Devo Bhava. But with the advent of modern state, it impacted on this, had impacted very significantly. Ever since the modern state came into being, a kind of an attitude developed that the responsibility to dispense with services is the responsibility of the government. This, over the time, created a patron-client relationship. Government is the patron, people are client, for everything you look up to government. But this attitude has not taken us much far. We have seen in our country that for seven decades, we kept doing good to the society, we kept building roads, we kept building educational institutions, we kept building hospitals, we kept educating children, we brought this right to education as a fundamental right. And yet, we remained a home to the largest number of Sikh who are illiterate. Primarily because this became a prerogative of the government, and the individuals, the society, in the society, they kept doing because it is the nature, inherent good nature of our people that they do the good service, but this service is unrecognized and at times even obstructed. Now the change that we are seeing in the country in the last 10 years is primarily because the change that happened in the whole attitude, involving the people, involving their power, unleashing the latent energy in the society. I give you one illustration. Prime Minister set a target that by 2025, India will be TB free, tuberculosis free. Many people thought it's like one of the government projects. They will say 25, it will defer to 30, people to 35. People will continue having TB and we will continue extending the period. Yes, that would have been the fate of it if it was only a government enterprise. But what he did, true to his nature, he conceived and created an institution called Nikshay Mitra. Nikshay is TB, it is what is called in Sanskrit. Nikshay is eradication, free from TB. Mitra. Because we know that the TB patient not only needs the medicine, which can be given by the government in the hospital, but then nutritional support that is needed for some time. And volunteers people, and I tell you there are millions of Nikshay Mitra who are supporting patients, TB patients, with nutritional food support for their recovery. And we are heading towards achieving the target. All this, all the drives that have happened and which are succeeding today, it is succeeding primarily because harnessing the inherent goodness of our people. This goodness, if it is harnessed properly, it can do wonders. Today it is doing wonders. Matra, the way, the model which they adopted, selecting the students in most adverse circumstances, parentless, fatherless, extremely poor, girl children, with all these adverse indicators, they identified the children and started providing the helping hand with the support of all the benefactors sitting here. Maintaining the dignity, never going to the media, never hoping for the limelight, silent service. And this transformation which is happening, which it is bringing about, it is revolutionary. It's not just 2,600, of course it is counting. It will be many, many thousands more in years to come. I have no doubt about it, because the motive is clear and the process is so simple. I have been told about the success rate of our matron students, their placements. They are doing very well. Wherever they are in life, whichever positions they are holding, they are doing well. All I need to tell the students that now that you have been spotted by Matram, you have been placed in institutions of repute where you are getting the best possible education. Now, it's for you to prove worthy of the assistance given to you. I know you are doing well, I have been told so. But there is always a scope or room for doing better. Are you dreaming big? Or are you content with having a job, reasonably paid? So, by the standard from which you came, it could be a quantum jump. But is it all that you are capable of? Think of it. You have no reason to dream small. I would expect Matram students, and I'm sure you will do that, to achieve higher goals in life, in profession, in career. You know, given the hard work and determination, nothing is impossible. Your background, which you have left behind, should not be a millstone round your neck to say that, look, this is what my background is, so this is where I have reached. It is a big gain. There is no reason. That's an excuse, I would say. And when I say there's an excuse, it's not that I am giving a sermon or a lecture. I am a living example before you. The modest background that I came from a village. I didn't see electricity until I went to college. I studied in kerosene lamp every day, cleaning the glass, cleaning the wicks, filling kerosene. Walking 8 kilometers to my school, quite often barefoot. And in summer, when the class is over by, morning school's class gets over by about 12:30. Temperature 45 degrees, we often tell about here Chennai is hot. It is more humid than hot. What is hot, you go there and then you will see what is hot. In that 45, 46, 47 degree, barefoot running from school to home, back home, in between a small place, a small oasis, a small garden, orchard, mango orchard, where there is a well, they take the water, have the water, second run home. I didn't let that be an obstacle to my dream. You can achieve what you wish. Only thing is, wish is not enough. You have to translate into resolve, and resolve backed by hard work. You know, Tirukural says, Enniye, en young, edit enniyar, tinniye raag pere. If you have determination, you have a hard work, you will succeed. Nothing is impossible. And so I would expect Matram students to soar higher than what you are soaring today. I checked up how many of them have, it's only a 10 years, not a long journey. Long journey ahead, but not a long past, I should say. I invite some of you also to join the higher civil services. Why I am saying that to join the higher services, nothing that there is a great virtue in it, but the fact is, as a higher civil servant, you will be able to transform. You will touch and transform the lives of millions of people if you wish to do that. I would like my fellow students, some of them, to aspire to be IAS officers, IPS officers. And believe me, this is not the only. If I could make it, you can make it. There is no reason. And those of you who resolve to be in the higher civil services, and if there is any assistance needed, any guidance, assistance needed, I offer my services to Matra. So, I would expect Martin students to soar higher in every walk of life, not only in civil services of course, but even other walks of life. I want you to be great scientists, great doctors, great lawyers. Whichever field you are, you must shine brightest. If you are somewhere in the middle, it's a huge opportunity cost, it's a loss. I often say to the young students that you are like a seed of a banyan tree. You know, I don't know how many of you have seen, because now those living in cities, they don't see banyan tree, they don't know banyan seed I'm talking. But I'm sure those from the villages and even in Chennai city there are plenty of banyan tree, and those who like to see, come and to Rajbhavan, we have plenty of it. You see the banyan seed in the small tiny fruit. There is a small tiny seed, but in that tiny seed is hidden a mammoth banyan tree. You are that seed. Even in adverse circumstances, you are put on a barren ground. Good Samaritans have lifted you, brought you to a fertile one, and now for you to grow into that mammoth tree. And if you don't, it's a loss. It's your loss. And of course, it's a loss to the nation. You must make your benefactors, your patrons, those who assisted you, proud of you. That's one thing that I would expect from Martin students. And the second is that spread this goodness, the gratitude. People, the good Samaritans have helped you. You will be good Samaritans for many others. Of course, by imparting education, but in many other ways. I hope, and I think it must be, I presume that you are networked. Those who pass out, today it is a digital age, and there is enormous strength in networking. Networking is to assist each other in time of need, to explain and offer opportunities which otherwise not known to many by some of your colleagues. Networking is working together. Be a family. I would expect Matram alumni to be and remain a family forever. Because it is the sense of oneness that comes from being member of Kudumbam, member of family. You stand by each other through lights and shadows of life. And believe me, if you are together, you will have more lights than shadows. I am so happy to be part of it, to be part of the event today. A decade of journey in terms of time is a small milestone. But I know the people behind, their dedication, the values behind, we will have many, many more milestones ahead. And this, a small beginning which is growing so well, it will turn into a revolution. It will transform the lives around, and this is what will make this country great. You know, the country is made great by its people, by its citizens. And for a very long time we have been talking about women empowerment because they constitute about half the population. When I see that almost 80% of the beneficiaries, the students, are girl students, I feel so happy and delighted that you are laying the foundation of a very strong India. Our future is bright. With students like you, with institutions like this, with benefactors like those who are sitting before me, I know our country has a great future, and we will be able to discharge the responsibilities, the larger responsibilities which the world expects of this country. Today, India is not what it was 10, 20 years ago. Today, the world looks at India with expectations, with hope to find solutions to the global problems. It's not for nothing, because India is walking the talk. India is demonstrating at a speed and a scale things which can be translated, can be replicated at the global scale in every field, be it climate, be it energy transitions. Because what we are doing in this country primarily today under the leadership, the new national leadership, is a quantum shift, a paradigm shift from the GDP-centric growth to human-centric growth. If we have to build a sustainable, inclusive, world, equitable world, it has to be human-centric. We have tried a lot, we have seen the fate of GDP-centric growth and development. We have seen the pockets of deprivations in the most prosperous land. This is not sustainable. It has to be inclusive and equitable. And that is what we are doing in our country. And in this inclusive and equitable growth, institutions like Madurai, by including those who have been abandoned, you are doing a great service, a great national service. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
Let's keep the applause going. Thank you, sir. It truly is an honor.